Welcome to the Grabbing the Brisket podcast, guys. We can't say thank you so much for tuning in each and every week. We definitely appreciate the listen. We got a nice interview for you guys planned today. We got Derek Perry with Freedom So Hard BBQ. And so let's just go ahead and get this guy. Hey, well, before I say, John, let's get the guy on the phone. Let's call him. I think it's a Brisket phone, right? Can we get the Brisket phone?
Brisket line 1?
Brisket line 1. Let's go.
The Brisket hotline?
I love it, John.
Jesus, James, you drink some vitamins today, or?
Trying to be a little more pep, Jan.
Okay.
A little pep in the step.
I think that was a yes.
Hello, Derek.
What's going on, gentlemen?
Just another day in awesome paradise. It's a cool, going to be tonight, probably in around the 50s or so. Today, high was like, I don't know, 70 maybe.
Yeah, this is the nice day of the year in Houston.
The one day.
So lovely.
That sounds a lot like California right now.
Okay.
We're having some pretty nice weather.
Nice.
Nice. Which part of California you in?
Northern. So I live in the Sierra foothills, but I work right on the cusp of the East Bay and the Central Valley.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, I actually grew up in Sacramento.
Oh, yeah. So when you guys were fairly close to us. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know, an hour and a half from Sac, if that.
Okay.
Nice.
So today we got Derek Perry with Freedom's. Let me get this right. Freedom So Hard BBQ. Right? Am I saying that correctly?
It's Freedom So Hard.
Yeah.
I'm just
Freedom
putting
So Hard.
I'm just putting a barbecue at the end.
Why is that so hard?
I don't know why.
Have at it, man. Rules are meant to be broken.
Exactly. Hey, Derek, we appreciate you joining in and talking barbecue with us. So how's your week been? How's everything going?
Good, man. Just busy. So I kind of have two lives. So I have my home life and commute in on my Monday, and I stay in the valley during my work week, and then I go home to the mountain life on the family on my weekends. So busy week. Actually, it's getting ready to get busier.
Oh, wow.
I'm pretty sure I got to go back to work when we're done with this.
Oh,
dang.
man. Jeez.
That's rough.
Jeez.
Oh, that's all right.
Well, I was going to say if you got to go to work, then we probably normally we like to tell everybody this is a drinking podcast. But if you're going to be going to work, probably shouldn't drink.
No.
Yeah, probably.
We'll drink for you.
Yeah, we'll definitely drink some for
please.
you. Yeah. Please
do.
So in California, I've been there maybe once or twice. How's the beer scene there? How's all the different IPAs and all the different small craft brewers? That's just booming like crazy there.
Yeah. The beer scene in California is big. The craft breweries, West Coast IPAs are big. The whole hybrid of the cannabis and IPAs that's kind of big out here. Big beer scene.
Never heard of that one.
Sorry, cannabis and IPAs mix.
Oh yeah.
We got to get some of that.
like cannabis infused IPAs, man.
Holy
Nice.
moly! Okay.
Yeah.
That'll knock
Nice.
the socks off.
All right.
Yeah,
Is that one that
it's a
you
big-
will not pass a drug test at work, or is it the one they're just using kind of like?
I think it's just a marketing gimmick scheme.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, figuring out how to smoke your beer.
Right. Hey,
Yeah.
we just smoke brisket here. So
Well, I think we did an article way back. There was a company, and it might have been out in California, that was doing a cannabis hybrid type beer. It didn't have any like THC or anything like that in there, but it just obviously it was like kind of a little marketing gab. Go buy this, and I think even our HEB has like one
Really?
that says cannabis on the side of it. I think.
All right.
Yeah, they got different 420s, and 420 is like a damn holiday in California.
right.
I bet.
Right.
Not as much in Texas, I don't think.
I don't
no.
know. I mean, Houston is 7 million people, so I'm pretty sure a lot of people getting high.
Yeah, I was talking to my daughter. She's 11, 12, 13, going on 16 or whatever. So she has these tapestries hanging in her room, and one of them, I think she probably got it from Jan's daughter, or she might have got it for Christmas. But it's a Grateful Dead poster tapestry, and it's got the bear and all the colorful like tie-dyed colors or whatever. And then off in the corner it just says 420. I'm like, I just noticed the other night. I'm like, 420, huh? I was like, babe, did you know? She's like, and Emma's like, what's 420? I'm like, oh, great. Now I even brought it up. I was like, she's like, she doesn't even know what 420 is. And I'm like, Well, she's obviously going to Google it when we leave out of her room. So.
Yeah.
Made it
Now that you bring it up,
You might want to have had a conversation. I'm sure you'd have a conversation about that. Yeah. Derek, man, we were talking about this earlier right before you came on, and one thing I have to say is, like, I don't know who's doing your photos. If you have but man, you've got some killer content on here. It is ridiculous.
Yeah, man. Thanks. I appreciate that. Nothing special. My wife takes a lot of my photos. We have like an old DSLR Nikon that we shoot with. But like, it's literally, we know nothing about the camera. It can probably shoot way better pictures. It's literally putting on autofocus.
Okay.
and point and click or my iPhone. If there's a picture in the backyard, like of something on the grill, more than likely it was taken with an iPhone.
Nice.
Yeah,
Well,
you're
nowadays
right.
these phones have 4K and everything else. But man, I must have rolled through, I don't know how many pictures now I've seen, and every single post grabs me. It grabs my eye. You know what I mean? Which is, it's very hard to do that. I mean, you've seen one, you've seen them all, I guess, kind of deal. But I really like the spin that you're putting on these. And I showed John earlier.
It makes my photos look like I took them with a Polaroid.
Well, I may have told, maybe y'all need to talk afterwards or something. But there was one where you're holding the different. It's almost like a piece of brisket on every finger type deal. And I'm like, oh my god, that's a killer shot right there. Look at that. You know.
You mean
we're stealing that.
He didn't take the picture using selfie mode on his iPhone, or
If you did, you got some skill.
Yeah, no, so when I started this, like, if you can go back, like, I don't know, like very first food picture number one, like, it was horrible, right? And I was shooting with my iPhone, and my wife's like, hey, why don't you, like, break out the camera that we have that we never use and take a picture of that? And I'm like, no. I started looking at that picture, and I was like, oh, okay. So I tried breaking out this camera. I reached out to a couple buddies that did photography. I was like, hey, teach me how to use this camera. And they're trying to, like, walk me through the aperture and the shutter speed and all this stuff, right? And I'm like, I don't have time to learn this. So I literally came down to lighting. And natural light's best. Shoot from the directions of your light source. And that's kind of what I've kind of subscribed to. And it works out. So, and then I don't edit, like, I don't put them in Photoshop or... Like, literally, they go from the camera to the computer, airdrop to my phone, and post it to the internet. Like, that's it.
Nice. Hey, can we go back just a little bit and try to get, like, a little bit of a backstory on how you got into the barbecue scene? Maybe what you first started cooking on? Because going over your Instagram, I mean, you got a lot of grills. I mean, I see the Primo Grill, which I think you're sponsored by. There's the Cotton Gin smoker. We had Matt on just maybe a month ago or something like that. I've seen what else? Help me out here.
He's got that what is it, like I don't know what the hell it is. It's some kind of like heater, but you can put a flat top on top.
I saw that
it's
dude,
a pellet.
That thing's really cool, man. That's like one of the coolest things I have on my patio right now.
It's like a stovetop.
So that right there is just like an outdoor gravity fed pellet heater stove, and it's made by Tyson Traeger, who's the son of Joe Traeger, who started Traeger Drills back in the day. And that's those timber stoves or something that he's doing, and it is super cool. Has a really small hopper on it. They have two sizes. They have a little timber and a big timber. That's the little timber. The big timber is like that thing on steroids. But literally throw some pellets in there. I light it with a FOGO quick start, shut it, and that thing will burn on that little hopper for 2 hours, and super warm. It heats up from top to bottom, and then it radiates heat. So you're like 7 feet tall, and then it just radiates. It's probably 10, 12 feet in diameter. And then it has that griddle attachment on it, and that's a really cool little thing.
Yeah, it looks badass.
Yeah,
it is pretty badass.
I've seen some of those. Maybe I've seen this before, whatever else. But I wanted to ask that, and you just touched on it, is how far it radiates heat, and it was something like 7-10 feet that you can, Of course, in Texas we don't really get that cold down south in Houston or whatever, but I know in California y'all do. But yeah, that thing really puts out that much heat, or is it worth the money? I guess is the question.
Yeah, absolutely. So like that's something I would buy. So here's the thing: like if I wouldn't buy it, I won't promote it. Like everything you see on my I get stuff. And I'm not trying to like make myself bigger than I am, and I'm really I seriously consider myself a nobody when it comes to this barbecue thing. But I do have the opportunity to test things out and get free product, and I get quite a bit of stuff. And if I put it on my social channels, it's something that I would stand behind.
Nice.
So, no, I'm a big fan of that. And if there's a lot of times I get things and you never see them, right? Like you just won't see them.
Right.
So, but I'm a big fan of that thing, and yeah, and I would buy one. I actually want the big timber. So I might end up buying one of those myself because it's pretty cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, I think those things, and plus it has that old timey stove looking, the big stack. It's almost like something that this thing could be in your house probably. It doesn't really radiate that much smoke or anything else as well, right?
I'm pretty sure it put off carbon monoxide and you might die.
You just gotta pipe it outside. You just gotta pipe it outside or something, right?
Other than that, yeah. I mean, if you want to die, that's cool. Put it in your house.
Yeah, just put it in your house, pipe it outside. You're good.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool little machine. It's it gets hot too. Like it gets hot. Living where I live is it's an all natural kind of environment. There's no fences or anything like that. I literally have a custom house in the middle of a forest, and there's a golf course and a bunch of stuff in our community that we live in, and it's a beautiful place. But since I've had that seems to be like the focal point when we have guests over, or we're entertaining, or even just sitting outside ourselves. We actually just tend to pull that thing and light a fire in it, and that ends up being the focal point. We kind of ignore all this beautiful outdoor scenery we have. So no, it's really cool. So check them out, man. Timber Stoves, they're doing some cool things, and they're a great company to work with. What they asked for was, be honest with you, wasn't enough. It wasn't unreasonable at all. And then it also there's some room for some growth and stuff working with them. So yeah, really cool company, really cool product.
Very cool. Very, very cool,
yeah.
man.
And then got a PK. It's another pretty cool grill I got that my wife actually bought that for me for was it Valentine's Day? So I wanted something that was a little portable grill I can take places and not too heavy. And that's a pretty cool grill too. That's back there.
Yeah, that's the aluminum, right? The all aluminum style
Mm-hmm.
cookers or whatever that they retain heat or they hold heat really well. They get hot really fast, I think. Probably a really good steak cooker. Really, if you're going to cook hot and fast on something, grilling, that's kind of a thing to go to.
Yeah, no, it's a super cool little grill. It's fun to play with. Yeah, it's just throw in the back of the truck, take up the hill or whatever, and do a backyard, cook on it or something, or back parking lot cook at work. It's great for shearing steaks. Who knows? I might even try to take it to some SCA event and get my ass whooped, on it. But it'd be fun.
I was going to ask you about that. Are you doing any competitions in California?
No. So before COVID hit, I looked at some SCA stuff and wanted to see if there was any in California. Everyone talks about how fun they are, and there was one last year that was scheduled before COVID hit, and it was in San Diego, which is like a 10-hour drive for me. And I'm like, I'm not driving a whole day to go cook a steak.
right.
So, and then COVID hit. But I think as SCA is starting to evolve, there's more events in California. I know there was one in Bakersfield last week. I was actually talking to Rusty Monson last week about some stuff, and he was on his way to Bakersfield to go cook in an event. So, yeah.
That's awesome. So what kind of grill did you actually start with?
So my whole cooking journey started, I guess, as a child. So I grew up, with my mom in the kitchen, grandma in the kitchen, and I've always kind of took a liking to food. Mastered the grilled cheese. That was kind of like 5 years old, 6 years old, learned how to cook my own grilled cheese. And then it went from like teriyaki chicken bowls, right? As a kid growing up, like 7, 8 years old, we'd have like these frozen chicken breasts from the big bags from Costco and kind of making like these chicken bowls all the time. And then I've always just kind of took to cooking. And then pretty soon after high school, I started my career in my family. My wife and I bought our first house, and we were young. I think she was 19, I was 20, and we were essentially fresh out of high school, but we had a house, right? So we always had people over, and I think I went to Home Depot and bought like some cheesy gas grill, and I was always kind of grilling on that. But always cooking, always in the kitchen, always. I mean, I've been cooking, since I was a kid. And that just kind of evolved to cooking for my family. And then my first smoker, which actually probably like nobody knows this. So my very, very first smoker was probably around, man, I couldn't even tell you, maybe 2010, 2011. It was when the barbecue Pitmaster show was real big, and these guys were like smoking, and I was like, I want to get a smoker. So I got a Bradley electric smoker. And that was actually a pretty cool little like cabinet smoker. Right. And I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. So like so I get the smoker. My wife buys it for me for my birthday, Valentine's Day, something. She buys it for me. So I throw on like these chicken breasts, and they're like these little mesquite wood pucks, and it heats up on an element. And then after 15, 20 minutes, it kicks it off into a little water pan, and another fresh one goes on the heating element. Like I fell asleep. So there's like this thing's loaded up full of chicken breasts, and I fall asleep and I wake up, and it's just like super dry mesquite, like horrible. Like you tried to eat it, and it was absolutely horrible. But I was like, well, this was supposed to be dinner. So we shredded it up, threw it in like some canned red sauce, and made tacos out of it. It actually turned out to be edible. So I was able to salvage it. So that's kind of what I started on. And then we do like a little smoking, like I think at the time Myron Mix, he was real big, and I think I had a cookbook from him, and he made these ranch burgers, right? Like some Myron Mixon recipe we came across where you take like ranch dressing, put it on a burger, and you smoke it, and then pull it off after 30 minutes, and you sear it on a grill over an open flame. And then that's kind of what, I kind of got into that whole like smoke and sear thing after that. And then 2016, I bought a Traeger. And I had seen a Traeger years and years and years ago. And I thought I didn't even know what it was, right? I just thought it was a cool looking grill that had some cool little chimney on it. And I looked at the price tag, and I was like, I can't justify, like, I got 2 small kids and a wife at home. Like, I can't justify spending $1,000+ on barbecue, So like, I was kind of like, always wanted one again, had no idea what they were. Then I got in a position in my life where I was a lot more financially secure and making really good money, and I could splurge. So we bought a new house. We bought this house that we're in, and I told my wife, I go, hey, I'm going to buy this grill, but it's going to be the last barbecue I ever have to get, right? Like,
That's
like this thing's going to last forever, right?
Yeah.
And that was really the whole plan. That was really the whole plan. So I got like,
that's how it starts, though. I can honestly hear the conviction in your voice. Now, you believed that at the time.
No, absolutely. So like, here's how the whole thing went down, right? So I spent it was like a Traeger Pro Series 34, right? It was like, if I'm gonna buy a grill, I'm gonna buy the biggest and baddest grill I could get at the time related to it. And so I bought this Traeger, and I really had no idea like what it did. I didn't know shit about pellets. Like, I had no idea. I thought I could cook on it like I could a gas or a charcoal grill. And I had a Weber and stuff before that, but like nothing crazy, right? Like it was essentially like I thought I knew how to cook, and I would make a bunch of tri-tips and steaks, and I would overcook them and sear them over an open flame. And at the time they were good, but looking back on it, it was probably just a bunch of overcooked garbage, right? So like it was like time, like it was like 3 minutes on this side, 3 minutes on this side. Like, it really had no business to even saying I knew how to cook. And I'm not saying I know how to cook now, but I've come a long ways. So I got this Traeger, and it was supposed to be the last grill that I ever got. And I got it, and I brought it home, and I used it, and the food tasted good, but I hated it. Like, I did not like how it cooked. Like, to cook a steak, it took me like 90 minutes or something. I was like, what the hell is going on? Right? Like, I'm cooking this thing at like smoke or like 225 degrees, and like we were supposed to eat dinner an hour ago. My wife's like, is this thing going to be done soon? I'm like, man, I don't know. It's the first time I'm ever using it, right?
It's almost ready.
So, like, I cooked on this thing, and I hated it. Like, the food tasted really good, but I didn't know how to use it, and I hated it. So I covered it up, and it sat on the back deck for a couple of days. And I was like, man, this woman is going to whoop my ass if this thing just rots away on this back deck. Like, just rust away and I don't use it, right? Like I just spent over $1,000 on this. We just bought this, this house, and I'm like, So it was at that time I literally started studying barbecue. I'm like, okay, I got to figure out how to use this. And it was just like trial and error, and then just picking people's brain and doing research on the internet, and literally became a student of the game. And I'm still a student of the game. I study barbecue every day. If it's reading, talking to people, I've had, the opportunity to meet some great, legitimate pit masters that I've become personal friends with, that I can call at any time and pick their brain about things and new grills and people that are somebody in the industry, right? And I've been a student of it ever since, and that was 2015.
Nice. Very cool, man. Very cool.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're probably rivaling John with amount of grills. I think y'all are about the same. I think John probably has a little more Traegers at his disposal, but yeah, that's fantastic. I love that.
At one time I had 6, and I've gotten rid of them. I'm down to 1. I'm down to 1 Traeger. I do have a GMG Davy Crockett, which that is a bad grill. Like, GMG hooked me up with that thing, and that is a cool grill. Just how it folds up and how the legs become the stands, and just how it was built. Like, and here's the deal: like, I won't knock pellet grills. Like, pellet grills are what helped me find my passion for barbecue and my love for barbecue, right? And I think that there is room for the pellet grill on the barbecue scene. I won't bash pellet grills. I won't bash Traeger. Like, Traeger treated me great, and I have nothing bad to say about them. They treated me awesome. It just got to a point where I wanted to evolve and say that I can not only cook on a pellet grill, but I can cook on an open flame, that I can cook on a Weber, kettle, that I can cook on a ceramic grill, and then I can cook on an offset or whatever. Like whatever you put in front of me, like, you give me a bag of charcoal and a shopping cart, and I'll produce a damn good steak, I think, right? Like, it's just all about knowing fire, heat, and really cooking your food to temp. I mean, that's really, people ask me all the time, what's the best thing I do to have better barbecue? It's like an instant read thermometer, and that'll up your barbecue game.
No, without a doubt it will. That was a game changer for us, even in the competition world, where, we never even thought about using it. We didn't have them. Like, they didn't make the instant read. And if you did, it wasn't, I don't know, like...
It's not like now.
Yeah, nothing
Right.
like the ThermoWorks or anything like you have now, or being able to put the thermometer into the brisket and have it on the pit, and you're able to know exactly what temperature it is at all times. When we first started, we didn't have any of that shit. So
Right.
I mean, we went off of just feel, how does a brisket feel? How much color does it have? How much bark does it have? And, I think we could have done a lot better when we first started out, probably around 2000, 2001, 99, somewhere around there. If we'd have had something like that, man, I think we could have done a lot better.
Everything was all based off just time and then touch.
Time and touch, yeah. You kind of knew, like, if you had like a 14 or 15 pound brisket and you're cooking, maybe 275 or 300 on a hot and fast cook or something, that you're like, okay, and we're going to look at using tinfoil, right, as your wrapping stage, maybe 9 hours total, and then your wrap and then your rest or whatever. But now, cooking at 225, that's the one thing I love to be able to do right now is cook at a lower temperature for a longer amount of time. And I really haven't really thought about it that much until John got his smoker. He got I don't know if you've seen online, but he has the Johnny and June, the big Austin Smokeworks, the 500 gallon and the 250 gallon smokers that sit side by side on a
trailer.
Yep.
That thing's beautiful.
It is. And we've cooked on both of them, and we ended up cooking some briskets on there that took, I want to say, it was close to 16 hours at a certain point, and we were like, is this thing going to get done? Like, what's happening?
Not used to that.
No, but man, they came out, and it was some of the it was so tender, but it was a different brisket than I was used to cooking and whatever else. And that's really got me thinking, like, man, I want to cook one like at at 204 for like 30 hours.
3 days.
Yeah. I don't know.
I feel like it's just going to be dry as shit.
We'll see, man. We don't know.
No. All kidding aside, they produce like a low, slow brisket, like at 205, 210 in the drum. Like that drum, that cotton gin drum I have, it makes some good low and slow barbecue. I don't know if you guys have used a drum. I don't know if all drums cook the same. I have no idea. I can only speak with what I have, the experience that I have.
Right.
But I'll throw, that I'll put like, I'll throw Flame Boss on it, just for peace of mind, and I'll set it at 225, 235. And the analog will read like 205, but the Flame Boss is reading, or the ThermoWorks is reading at 225, 235.
Yep.
These briskets, like 17, 18 pound brisket, these things are taking like 19, 20 hours, 21 hours. Like it's getting like pushing the envelope. I was like the first time I did one, I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, right. Are we eating this? I don't know.
Yeah, no, last year. So like the first one I did, like I literally got my cotton gin like that following weekend. Like I did the FOGO takeover, and I finished it with a brisket, right? And like it was like 21 hours, and I'm like on a live, I'm like, well, it's done, but we're not going to let it rest. And it was phenomenal. It was just a great brisket. And they consistently are taking me like 18 to 20 hours on that thing if I'm setting it like 225.
Wow.
Because it's running a little bit cool.
Yep.
I think.
Yep. And then what's your rest time on those?
It depends on how well I plan. I try to rest for a minimum of an hour. I would prefer about 2.5.
Okay.
Is what I would prefer. But a lot of it, I mean, for the most part, I'm cooking for me and my family. So, I mean, if it rests 30 minutes, I'm good with that.
Well,
that brisket that I posted, I think I did it today, and I posted the other day. Like that brisket literally rested for 30 minutes.
Okay.
Looked fantastic.
Yeah. No, it does.
No, it was good. Yeah, it was good brisket.
I was gonna say that's the thing especially when you're cooking for your family. Like when you get these little eyes looking on you, like when are we eating? And you're like, maybe 4 more hours. Like sooner or later, they're going to the store. They're going somewhere. They're not listening to
it's
it.
like another 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Another 15, 20.
Right. This is actually a breakfast brisket. We'll have this tomorrow.
Right.
Good night. Yeah.
So I'm actually going to make a brisket for Easter, and I'm literally, so our plan is to eat at 2:00 on Sunday, right? So I'm literally putting that thing on the pit at 2:00 on Saturday. Like it's going to hit the pit at 2:00 on Saturday.
Yeah.
So
Very cool.
Okay.
we'll see.
So I did see on your Instagram that you do have a 250-gallon smoker in the works, right? Is that being manufactured for you?
It is. So I've been in the market for an offset. So I was in the market for a backyard offset for about the past year. And I fully anticipated getting a backyard unit. I was presented with an opportunity that I could monetize off of. So I was like, well, I just need to get a 250. So, me and my infinite wisdom, I decided to go with the pit builder that's furthest away from me, right? Like there's tons of pit builders in my backyard.
Right.
And there's tons of pit builders between me and Georgia. And it really came down to 3 pits. Like I had it narrowed down. So I wanted either a Moberg, a Fat Stack Smoker, which is right here in San Diego, California, or a Primitive Pits. And I think Primitive was probably the best priced, and which is I liked about it. They all have the qualities that I wanted in an offset smoker. Like I want a round firebox. Like I think it's better for my coal bed, right? Like I would prefer a round firebox based on the information, what little bit of knowledge I have and experience with them. Like there was just certain things, and when it came down to it. At the time, Primitive was the only one that was offering a wagon. I don't think Moberg offers a wagon. And Fat Stack, like literally, I ordered it on a Monday. The following Monday, I think Fat Stack released a wagon version of their pit. I think they do a 120 wagon. So that was it. And I'm all about like why, right? Like why do we have the grates at this height? Why do we have a collector? Why do we have, a 4-inch chimney rather than a 2-inch chimney or a 6-inch chimney, right? And doing some research and looking at Primitive and what JD's done with his old CFD and putting money in and actually supporting it with the data, and then talking to the people that I know that have them, it was a no-brainer. So it's being built. They start production on their 250 runs in June, and I should have it in the beginning of July. I'm hoping to get it by July 4th. But we'll see. I don't know, but I should have it in July. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked about that. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun, actually.
Let me ask you, when you ordered that, did you tell your wife that was going to be the last smoker you ever need?
No, I've already told her since then. Like, I fully plan on buying a trailer with 2 500s on it. Like, that's the plan.
That's awesome.
Like,
are you planning on doing, like, making a career of this? Like, catering or a business or?
It's probably going to lead to. So I get asked to cook for people all the time, and I don't. Like, it's not a business for me. I'm not in it for the money. And I have a great career. I make a decent living. My wife makes a decent living. We don't go without. We're not hurting. I actually feel like kind of guilty, right? Like so many people were affected by COVID, where I've actually thrived. I actually almost felt guilty for thriving. But it was always kind of the plan, like retirement. I did do an event for a friend for a business, and they absolutely loved it. And he's like, "Hey, this was awesome, and you cooked for 65, but can you do 10 briskets for us?" And I was like, I could, but no, I can't because I don't have the grill space.
Right.
So that was like on a Friday, right? So thought about it on my drive home Friday night, thought about it Saturday morning. We're sitting there drinking coffee with my wife, and I'm talking about it. And she knows I want to buy like a backyard offset. She knows, I'm going to spend a little bit of coin, and I'm going to buy a pit. And I talked to her about this, and I go, I think I'm going to buy a 250 and see what happens. Like, if this is what I want to do as a retirement gig, a little side hustle when I retire, like why not start chipping away at these big purchases now? So when I'm ready to pull the trigger, like, we're up and running and we don't need to buy anything, right? We're not spending $40,000 on a trailer and pits and things like that. Like, we're up and running. We have everything we need. Just like, have at it. Like do your thing. So
Sounds like a keeper.
I called Monday morning and ordered it. Tuesday, I went to FedEx and I overnighted a check to him. That's how it went.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this total off-the-wall, non-barbecue related question. So I always like to ask these questions. Let's get to know Derek. So driving to work or back there manning your pit, what kind of tunes are you jamming to? What kind of music do you listen to?
Oh, man, I listen to everything. So if it's something at home, so I live in like this older retirement community, kind of, there's not a lot of young people. So I probably couldn't get away with just blaring some NWA or something. So I usually, if I'm around the pit, it's like some Johnny Cash, maybe some classic rock, some Journey, something like that, something on Pandora. Big Johnny Cash guy. Doors. I like the Doors. So I listen to everything from country to gangster rap to hip hop. I mean, I'm sure you can probably even find some pop or something on my playlist.
Right.
But, I listen to everything.
What about like a notable concert? What's the last concert you went to?
Oh man, the last concert was probably Kid Rock, and that dude put on a hell of a show.
Yeah, I've heard he's awesome.
Is this new Kid Rock or old Kid Rock?
It's everything Kid Rock.
Okay.
So yeah, he literally goes from it's everything Kid Rock before, like, what was his rap album, like Grits and something. Like, he did that, like, his very first album was like this hip hop album that flopped, was like in the early 90s, and then he came out with Ba with the Ba, and then he just blew up after that. But so that dude is talented. Like, that dude can do more than just sing. Like, he literally played every instrument. Like he played the guitar, he played the bass, he was on the turntables mixing. Like throughout his show, he played everything. And the entire time he's just drinking whiskey, smoking weed. He has a bunch of hot chicks dancing around him. Like, that dude put on an incredible show, man. He really did. Like,
I was fortunate. I was fortunate enough to see him from the third row, man. And like, geez, Louise, dude, like, that dude is awesome, man. Like, talented. Like, Yeah, it was probably the best concert I've ever been. I don't even say probably. It was the best concert I've ever been to in my life.
Yeah, I'd say he put on a good show. AC/DC put on a really good show, but Kid Rock, I think, put on a better show. I've been to a couple Toby Keith concerts, and the first few were good. Then the one, I saw him in Reno, and he played Vegas the night before, and he was hammered. He was so hungover. he was actually being kind of a dick. Yeah, it was just weird.
Too many red Solo cups, I guess.
Oh man, yeah, he was hammered. Like we met him backstage. My buddy, he used to like drive bus for some country band, and he knows like his tour manager. So like he hooked us up with backstage passes, and we meet him, and like I got a picture. Like his face is beet red, and his eyes are bloodshot. Like, he just looks miserable, dude. And yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, Toby Keith, didn't he play sport? Didn't he play football? Was it Oklahoma State? Oklahoma.
He's a big dude. It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think he
big
played.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a
What
big
about
dude.
this? One more personal question. First car. Any notable story about a first car? Or
Yeah, no. So, I mean, I grew up in the 90s, right? Like, I'm a Japanese import kind of guy. My first car was a 96 Honda Civic. Brand new in 1996, right?
Awesome,
like, I was,
yes.
Nice.
I was a spoiled kid. I'm not going to lie. Like, I was a spoiled kid. So I had a brand new car as a kid and big loud muffler and stuff. You know, that was the thing back then, but.
It was the thing. You didn't wreck
Yeah.
it, did you?
No. I ended up selling it to a coworker years later.
Nice.
And then a few years ago, I relived my teen years, and I had a couple of Subarus, STIs. I had a 16? No, I had a 15 STI, and some dude rear-ended me, and I got totaled. And I've owned a lot of cars. I've never bought the same car twice, and then I replaced it with another STI, a 2016 STI, and that car it moved. That car wasn't comfortable going like 65 miles an hour. That car was comfortable doing like 165 miles an hour, and I'm like, yeah, I just that.
Yeah, I can't do that. I'm gonna lose my license.
Yeah, no, that's the last thing I need. Like, and not that I drove 165 miles an hour. It's just like, literally, you'd be on the freeway and you'd go to pass a truck, a big rig or something, and by the time you get to the front of it, you start passing it, you're doing 60 miles an hour, and by the time you get past it, you're doing 100, right? I mean, it was just like, holy crap! Like, those cars, it was like driving a golf cart, right, or a go kart. Like, they just moved. Like, there was no play. There was.
They're all-wheel drive too, aren't they?
Oh yeah, they're all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
They those things get up and move. So, yeah, my son now wants one. I'm like, dude, like he's 16 years old, about to get his license in like a month, and I'm like, the last thing I'm gonna do is buy you an STI that has 305 horsepower turbocharged car. Like, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like, you can have my 2017 Toyota Tacoma and be happy about it.
There it is.
Because when you want to resell it, that Tacoma is going to be worth way more money than that STI anyway.
That's true. Those Tacomas, they hold their value.
The
It's
resale
crazy.
value is crazy. Yeah, especially right now. I could probably sell it for more than I paid for it. They're just hard to come by. COVID just locked everything up.
Yeah. All right, so here's the question we always ask. Barbecue fails. Everybody's got them, and if you don't have them, then
You ain't cooking it.
yeah, you're probably lying.
Lion.
No, man, I got plenty of them. So, I mean, how many you want? I mean, I could.
Just your most
How much
notable
time you
one.
got?
Let's
Are we,
start
do,
with your
are we,
best
are we
one.
doing like a marathon set?
No, just the most notable one.
So, I'll give you two.
Okay, let's hear it.
I'll give you a cotton gin one, right? So I am cooking. I cured a pastrami. I cured a brisket to make pastrami, and I have it on the cotton gin. And I go out to check my fire, open up that front door on it. I think I may have thrown some wood chunks in there. And mind you, it's sitting on my back deck under some canvas, like awnings, essentially. And there's a big redwood tree, oak trees hanging over that. And then next to my house that's made of wood. So, check my little door, throw some stuff in there. I go back in the house, and luckily I had ThermoWorks, probably like a smoke or something on it, smoke X, something, monitoring the temp, right? Well, I start getting this alert. I don't even think I've ever told my wife the story. Good thing she won't listen to this probably. So I go outside and literally there's like 4-foot flame shooting out this front door, right? I didn't lock the front door. Like I shut it, but I didn't lock it. So it's just like, it just gets oxygen, right? And it goes off. Well, what happens? The pastrami, the brisket, starts dropping grease and it makes a bigger fire, right? So I'm like, oh shit. So first instinct was to save the brisket.
Of course.
So reached over, grabbed the handle, burned the crap out of my hand. Was able to get the brisket off and shut the front door. Pulled the brisket off and shut the lid. Cut back the oxygen. It took about 20 minutes, but it came down. Put it back on, and it was fine. And it turned out, I almost burned the forest down. That would have sucked.
Right. Right. Yeah. Y'all have forest fires there, so that's actually a real thing.
Oh no, it's a real thing. Like I've evacuated before. Like no, it's a real thing. Like so, like when Paradise burned down, like we were out there. It was just one of the most horrific things I've ever seen. Like so, no, it would have been bad. It would have been. Fire moves fast. You get a little windy day and get a bunch of dry vegetation. Fire can move, like 5 miles a minute. Like. Right. It can move.
Yeah.
So, So it was honestly, if it wasn't for that ThermoWorks, like it would have been really bad.
Yeah, that actually is very similar to James's story with his brisket on the drum. He left it open for a couple seconds and had his little thermometer with the remote and went inside to do something, and all of a sudden it's beeping. He's going, "What's going on?" Came out and he had a torch going up the top.
4-alarm rager is what he had.
melted that probe clean in half.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, it did. So yeah, that was bad, but the food was salvageable. It was, when I cook those briskets on the drums or even my ceramics, I cook fat side down. I cook fat side towards the heat source, right?
Right.
So when I cook on those, if I cook an offset, I'm going to go fat side up. But so to kind of use that as kind of protect that layer. So it was fine. It was a little charred, just peeled right off. Actually, I think the charred part stuck onto the grate. And then my other one is kind of a 2-part. So years ago, I decided in my infinite wisdom, this was way before I really got into barbecue. I was just grilling on a stainless steel gas grill. And I decided, I'm going to debrine a corned beef. So rinsed the corned beef, soaked it overnight for 24, 48 hours in the water to try to debrine it. And cooked it on a gas grill. And it was horrible. We ordered pizza.
Oh, I love it.
Right. And I was like, this thing's horrible. Like it was salty. It was dry. It was horrible. And I'm talking like a corned beef that you buy from the grocery store, right? Like it's just sitting in that salt solution for who knows how long. So fast forward now, like 10 years or something, I'm doing this whole barbecue thing. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to tackle that again. I'm going to debrine a corned beef, and I'm going to get it right this time. Did it, cooked it probably on a ceramic grill or something. I don't remember what I cooked it on. Same results. It was horrible. We ordered pizza. So if you ever think about debrining a corned beef, don't.
Lesson learned.
Well, you would think it was learned, but then he did it again.
Right. Just go.
No, I was just like, I don't like failures. I just wanted to kind of,
No, I got it.
If you want pizza, then just ask for pizza.
I wanted to redeem myself. So. But yeah, those are like the biggest ones that stand out, right? And I screw things up all the time. You think something's going to be done, you have guests coming over, and you don't hit your timeline or things like that. So I'm at the point now, like when I'm cooking for people, it literally just goes on early.
Yeah.
And I'll rest it in a Cambro. It'll hold.
Yeah, that's the thing though. I like that the fact that people know when they come over to eat. That it's a crapshoot. You know what I mean? I like that. Like, hey, listen, we're going to eat, but y'all going to have to stay for a little. Drink another beer. It's going to be ready. Right. Don't worry. Don't rush perfection.
You show up to Jan's for dinner, and people are showing up with Whataburger because they're like, it might be a while.
Right.
Like,
bring a snack.
Did you bring an overnight bag? Just in case.
Just in case. You're not going to miss this.
Supposed to eat at 5 and food's done at 11.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a theme over here.
But the thing is that we do really well here is that we will plan a brisket to cook, but still that doesn't mean that we're not grilling at the same time.
Oh yeah,
right?
we're cooking everything.
We're doing chicken, we're doing poppers, we're sausage. There's always something. You know, somebody's running to the store to go grab something to come back and do pork steaks or whatever.
By the time the brisket's done, everybody's full.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, like in the summer months, usually when I get home, like Friday night or first thing Saturday morning, like I get my grills cleaned up and I load those things up with charcoal. And I usually I will literally light every one of my grills for the most part. And I just let them burn real slow throughout the weekend. And when I'm ready to cook something or someone comes over, like it's just add some airflow, get it on there.
Love that.
Cook it when you're done. Cut that airflow down and just let it kind of hum throughout the weekend. If you need to add some fuel, you will, but
yep.
And they just kind of burn all weekend. I mean, FOGO's pretty good to me, so they take care of all my charcoal needs.
Yeah, I like FOGO, man. We were doing some Jealous Devil, JD, and I really like the FOGO. Honestly, how there's more of a smokier,
more of a barbecue
flavor from the FOGO than we were getting with the Jealous Devil. So we're definitely pleased and happy with the FOGO for sure.
Yeah, no, they treat me good. I think I'm going on year 3 with them. And Sebastian's he's just a great guy. The whole team's, I feel honored to even be part of the team, right? Like I'm just some schmuck dude, with some small following that cooks in his backyard. And there's just all these big heavy hitters and comp guys and just legitimate barbecue dudes. And then there's me, like I don't even know how it happened. Other than Sebastian likes me. I don't know. I have no idea.
That's all it takes.
He's a super nice guy.
I have no idea. He's a great dude. Like he's just a great guy. I can get on the phone with him and it feels like I've been talking to him for 10 minutes and it's been an hour or something. He's just a great dude. So, and they treat me really good. They treat me great.
Yeah, that's something that's been like really like great that we've noticed on our end, and that's why we kind of started a podcast. But the community of barbecue, everybody's just so nice. Everybody's great. You graciously coming onto our podcast, and then the other guests that were able to come on the show or we're able to get, everybody's just so nice, and it's so nice to just be able to sit down and just talk barbecue. That's what we would do on day in and day out. Like, hey, what are we going to cook this weekend? Or hey, let's cook or something like that. So
right,
I'm just super blessed.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, like California, we have great weathers, but that's really the only thing we really have going for us. And I don't even know how you guys do it, but I kind of want to be your neighbor. Like where do you live? Like what house is for sale on your block? Because I want to hang out with you guys all the time.
Bro, come on down. We're literally all on the same street.
We are.
I know.
It's a good time.
Like, how do I get in that club?
Hey, you just got to move to Texas first. Just make the plunge, and the rest is history at that point.
Yeah, well, it might happen. I don't know when, but
we're not.
I would like to leave the state, but who knows?
Yeah, well, everybody loves. Texas has all the weather. Right? It depends on where you live. You can have all the climate, but where we're at, you're not going to get that much of a winter. But your summer,
right? You're not going to get a spring or fall either. But
it's going to be blistering.
It's a little like living in an armpit.
Right. It's very humid. It's you can feel it. It's good. It's good for your skin, though. So
great for your skin.
So they tell you. Yeah, I don't know.
So I got a question for one of you guys.
Yes.
Who was it that had their electricity company just bend them over hardcore? Which one?
That was me.
That's Jan.
That's me. Yeah.
Dude, what the hell? So I'm listening to your podcast and you tell the story. Isn't that against the law? There has to be it should be a crime to be able to I'm pretty sure every state has a price gouging law, don't they?
They do. Yeah, Texas does have one. The problem is that once you we have my bank card on file. Once I put my bank card on there, I couldn't remove it. So they just auto debited, and so the only I could do at that point was put a credit card down on it and remove my bank card. But even then, it was still going to just charge the credit card. And then I had to call the credit card company and say, dispute that. I'm not paying that. So cancel. But the problem was at that point, I'd already paid almost all of it at that point. All of it was paid on my bank card versus it was only a couple $100 that went to my credit card. Everything else was on my bank card. So,
So that's crazy. But there's another part to this. So I'm listening to you tell the story on one of the episodes, right? and they're charging you like so much per kilowatt or whatever it is, right? It's like
$9.
nerdy electrical guru stuff, right?
Yep.
So I was just like, well, I mean, like I'm literally like, give me this guy's number so I could call him a week ago and tell him like, why don't you just go flip your power switch off and run what you needed on a generator?
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been the common sense thing to do. Like, just if they're charging you too much, just turn their switch off. But maybe you didn't know about it.
No, so that was the give or take. So it was freezing down here. So at 16 degrees, we were worried about the pipes breaking and everything else. So I was like, if we can have some heat in the house, that might stop. So and down in this area, there's thousands upon thousands of houses that probably still don't have water right now, or it was just a massive freeze. I work in the fire protection business, so we have a lot of businesses that we're dealing with still. They don't even have sprinkler systems because those pipes busted throughout. So it's actually that's the only reason why I ran it. I was like, we need heat. I don't want to be gutting my whole house because
Plus you have kids at the house.
Yeah, we have kids, but I mean, I at that point I'm like, bundle up. I mean, I would have bundled up, but I didn't want to pay, or be without a house with no water.
Plus, you didn't have a generator.
Right. Yeah, I didn't have a generator either. But
so, is your heater ran on electricity?
My heater is natural gas. But my fan.
But it takes
my
electricity to blow it.
Yeah, we have blower and everything else. That's all electricity, whatever. But the amount of electricity like for lights or whatever, that was minuscule. But at $9 a kilowatt, like run a microwave and you're paying
$1,000.
You're paying $60. Yeah. Oh yeah. So
that's crazy, man. Yeah, I felt bad for you listening to that. I was like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, that's criminal, dude. That shouldn't happen.
Right.
There's a class action lawsuit that they put together. So hopefully, they'll be able to, I don't know, like get some of your money back or whatever. Like,
30 years from now, you're going to get a check in the mail.
Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, if you want to tell me I'm going to pay 20 cents a kilowatt or 30 cents a kilowatt, I'd be like, okay, I'll pay it, whatever. $9 a kilowatt? That's
really good electricity.
It was the best electricity you could buy. Okay.
No, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Yeah. I was listening to that and I actually felt bad for you.
Makes you cringe a little bit.
Like no company should be allowed to do that, right?
Yeah, I hope you're not with them anymore.
No, I'm not. Well, the other thing is they're not even allowed to sell. It wasn't even their fault. That was the other part. We had a company called Gritty. They're not even allowed to sell in Texas anymore, and it wasn't even their fault. It was the ERCOT. It's who sells the electricity to them. They were being charged $9 a kilowatt, so they charged us $9 a kilowatt.
That's horrible.
So it's like they wasn't their fault. They didn't do anything wrong. So So I don't know, but whatever.
All right,
I felt bad for you guys. That was horrible.
We're running a little long. Can we go ahead and can you first of all, like what's in the pipe works for you now? Do you have anything planned for the horizon? And we'd love to hear your where we can reach you as far as websites or social medias and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so I got a couple big projects I'm trying to get off the ground. One is stuff to do with the 250 and moving into some catering stuff. So that's literally like priority number one right now. I actually do have a podcast on the horizon. We started that barbecue briefing thing over Zoom last year when COVID first hit and everybody was first on lockdown. And it was cool, but it was live. And it was hard for scheduling and people couldn't make it, but everybody was like, hey, make this a podcast.
Yeah.
So it didn't last long, but I had a great time doing it. And then I've continued to get hey, make this a podcast. So that's actually going to happen, hopefully sooner than later. I haven't really set a timeline on it, but it should be right around the time I'm getting the pit when I'm getting the offset. So there is a podcast that will be coming out. Love to have you guys on, do some co-promotion stuff. Okay. And then on the back burner, hopefully I can get it up off the ground by the end of this year. We'll be a spice and seasoning company.
There you go.
Nice. That's awesome, man.
So
Hell yeah.
yeah.
Let's
So
try
that's on the horizon. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Very cool, man. I like that. I like the energy that you bring just speaking with you, and I look forward to hearing the podcast. I think you're going to do well with it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've spent the last 20 years interviewing people, kind of professionally. I mean, I talk to a lot of people, so it was like, well, let's talk about something cool. Like, and I've made some great relationships with people on Instagram, some guys that I talk to on a daily basis, and we just get on the phone and we talk barbecue almost every day. And it's cool. So it's just like, how many people would benefit from listening to and hearing these conversations? And the whole thing, like the whole thing with it's not so much a barbecue podcast. We're going to incorporate a lot of like the social media influencer stuff, and the whole thing related to like when we first started over Zoom was bringing owners and companies on and people that are managing brand ambassador teams. And it was like, what is it you look for? Because you see it way too often. These guys on social media do all these gimmicks, right? Or they see somebody else do something and it's successful, and they try to duplicate it or copy it, and then they don't give credit where credit's due, and they're not original, right? And they're doing these gimmicky things that they don't need to do because they think that they need 100,000 followers to get a free grill, or they need $100,000 to get compensated for something. And everybody thinks that they should be compensated. Very few people on Instagram, from what I know, are getting compensated, right? Like very, very, very few people are. And, like you don't need to do that. Like my account is small. Like I think I might have 11,000 followers. I don't really pay attention to it. To be honest with you, I don't care. It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter to me if I have 100,000 followers or 3,000 followers. It really doesn't matter to me. I've thrived. I've done well for myself. And a lot of it has to do with, I think, how I conduct myself, which isn't like what you see from me on Instagram is who I am in real life. Like, I don't put on this persona that I'm somebody, right? Like this is who I am. Like, I stand up for what I believe in. I call people out when they're doing silly stuff. And, I'm not afraid to speak my mind, but I do it with tact. And, I try to be just a good person. And that's really who I am in real life. Like, I don't put on this persona that I'm somebody. I'm just some schmuck that cooks in his backyard for his family. And I just happen to be able to make some relationships. So, but you see these guys doing all this gimmicky things all the time. And it's like, you don't have to do it.
Yeah.
You just gotta, this is what they look for. It's called social media. So Sebastian, I had a conversation with Sebastian early on, and he's like, it's called social media for a reason. Yeah. You got to be social.
Be social.
We want guys that are engaging. We want guys that respond to people's comments. We want to see them engage the audience when they're promoting a brand. That's what we look for, right? And that's really what it's about. So, and a lot of it is how you conduct yourself.
Right.
Like,
right.
if I'm a business owner and I want you to represent my brand, like, and I'm not trying to call anybody out or say anything.
Yeah.
But
yes. Call them out.
If you're getting belligerently drunk to the point where you have to apologize the next day,
right,
or people can't understand what you're saying, or you're on there smoking dope and stuff, like, is that someone that I want representing my brand?
Yeah, I mean, if I sold,
what I mean?
Sold drugs, yeah. If I sold pot, I'd be like, yeah, pick that dude.
Yeah.
If I'm selling grills, no, that's not who I want.
No, right?
Yeah.
So you don't need to have this big following to be successful in this thing. You just need to be original. You need to be social and just be a damn good person. That's really what it comes down to. So that was the whole thing, and that's kind of the path that barbecues. The podcast is going to take, is bringing these people on, talking about their success and talking about, and I don't want to say failures because I'm not a guy to use failure, right? Like, they're learning experiences. If I make that same mistake twice or three times, okay, then it's a failure. But it's learning experience. It's like a learning experience. I now know to make sure the front door of my cotton gin is closed before I walk away from it.
That's right. That's
right.
right.
It was a learning experience.
That's right. Yeah.
So
sure.
I don't look at them as failures. I look at them as learning experiences. And I want to share that with other people, and I want other people to share their experiences with the audience.
to make everybody better and help people thrive. You
Right.
know, in the few episodes of the barbecue briefing that we did do over Zoom, we were able to connect people to brands and get them hooked up with product or product promotion, things like that. So there was a lot of co-promotion going on and getting people hooked up. So that's part of it. You know, I want to bring people on. So many people have, you know, left their day jobs to pursue barbecuing and has failed, and talk about their experiences and why they were failures and you know, what they would do better next time and things like that. So that's going to be the whole kind of premise of it, right? Is
I love it.
Learn from us. This is how you can get connected to people, you know, and how you can support the people you care about. Like, everybody has a link tree in their, I'm sure you guys have some type of link trees or links in your guys' bio, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So that's how a lot of people support their content. Most of them have links for their sponsors, and when someone uses that link to buy a product,
Yep.
like, that is, they get a small percentage of it, right? And it can only be a couple bucks, but for some people, that couple bucks might mean their next cook, right? So if there's people out there on social media that you really want to support, like, get behind there and use those links. And a lot of people don't think about it, and myself including. Like, when I wanted something from ThermoWorks, I would just jump on the ThermoWorks website and order it, rather than be like, those guys from Grab It and the Biscuit, they probably have a ThermoWorks, you know, link. I'm going to use that so I can help support them, right? So, and it's just like a whole educational thing.
No, that's good.
Love it.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, without a doubt. I think that's definitely an original thought process behind that and whatever else. I'd also say, when you get ready to do the catering, whatever, reach out. I mean, I know that some of these guys here have done, you know, the 60 people, the 100 people, the 200 people, the 500 people cooks. It can be kind of daunting and whatever else, but my one thing would be, like, reach out to your friends and family, like, and put their ass to work. That's what works for us.
Yeah. Well, you know, I so when I do, like, and again, I don't do catering, right? Like, I do some things, but I'm the kind of guy, like, everything gets brought in Cambros and dropped and walked away. Like, I don't serve. Like, I'm not going to sit there and serve you no food. Like, for one, because I've been cooking for probably the last 20 hours. The last thing I want to do is serve you food. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm trying to like, you know, open this up to a little side hustle business opportunity for my adult daughter. Like, hey, you know, while you're in college and stuff, like, why don't we just kind of, you open a business. So when we have these things, I'll be like, hey, this is what I do for food. If you want people to serve, my daughter has this small little company. Her and her friends can come out and serve or whatever. Right. So I don't think she's real key on it. You know, she's a busy college student and athlete. So, but, you know, it's something that we can get the family involved in someday, hopefully, maybe.
I love that. I love that. Hey, Derek, hey, thank you for joining us on the show. We really do appreciate it. It's been really fun and really informative. So, hey, thank you for coming to the show, and I really hope we maybe can get you back on a little bit later on.
Yeah, man, I love it. I love it. Is it cool if I shoot some plugs out?
Absolutely, yeah.
So you guys can find me on my Instagram at Freedom So Hard, all one word. Pretty much on all social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter. It's all Freedom So Hard. Big shout out to FOGO, Primo Ceramic Grills. They treat me really well. Trigger Creek, those guys are treating me really well. Porter Road, again, go buy yourself some high quality meat from those guys. ThermoWorks, they treat me good. I'm sure there's people I'm missing, but anyone that supported me along the way, I appreciate all you guys. I appreciate, you know, I don't want to say my followers, but I appreciate the people that have monitored my content that have been with me from day one, and I appreciate you guys having me on. So thanks, man. Love to come back and chat. And whoever is in California, if you're ever in Northern California, if you're visiting family, look me up and let's barbecue. I'll have you over and we'll make you a good meal.
Absolutely, I'll take you up on that.
Let's make it happen. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, man.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
All right, see you guys.
All right, bye.
That dude loves what he's doing.
I know, yeah.
He does. It's
Oh,
a
you can
passion,
tell.
right?
Yeah,
And
you can tell.
that's what I love about connecting with people that, you know, I mean, obviously he's been cooking for a while and he's been going through this whole social media thing and whatever. But I love when you hear that in somebody's voice and how much they really care about what they're doing. You can tell this is definitely a passion for him, right? And it's not like a 9-to-5 job. That's what a job is, right?
Right.
Everybody has a job here that they hate doing, and they want to kill themselves every time they go there. And
There might be some that love their job.
I like my job.
They just John, I'm speaking, okay, and we all hate those type of things, and but that right there, that is a passion that you can tell this guy is like, and it's not about the money, right? This dude's going to go out and he's going to follow this thing, and he's going to say, this is what I want to do. This is it. It's infectious. I love that.
It is,
Churning out some good stuff.
I love the stories. I mean, this is the kind of stuff. I mean, it's a podcast, so
Story time.
It's TV for your ears. So
It is.
So hearing the stories while you're driving to work, and that the passion that this guy brings is obviously, like you're saying, is contagious. I mean, people love to hear that, and I hope you guys go check out his content.
Yep.
Go check out his pages. I mean,
Look at those
so
killer ass
hard.
pictures and food he's putting out.
John, we need to get a DSL camera.
That's right. Nikon.
We might already have one in
I
the
don't
family.
know.
Denny has a couple of them.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Fun podcast, man. So definitely appreciate it.
We should do this again.
I don't know. Maybe we'll do another one.
Do it again next week.
You want to do
maybe.
another one? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Aldo,
Sure.
you want to maybe?
Give the people the business where they can get a hold of us.
Yes, I can do that, guys.
We wanna hear it.
Well, you know what to do, man. Just go to grabthebrisket.com. You can find everything there, man. Pretty soon, this little interview we just did will be up there. It'll be uploaded. You'll be able to find it. You can find other stuff. You can find merchandise. You can find just bios about us. Figure out who we are. You know what I mean? So, but go check it out, guys. Grabthebrisket.com.
Beautiful.
Absolutely. And
Beautiful.
head over to Patreon. Sign up. Our Patreon is live, and there are episodes you will find on Patreon that you will not find anywhere else.
That's correct.
Old episodes and also new episodes that are exclusive to Patreon.
No wonder I
is
couldn't
correct.
listen to that shit.
Right?
Yeah, that's
Got
because you don't know where to get it at.
Sign up.
I don't even have a Patreon account.
Okay.
Sign up.
Well, God damn it.
What is the internet? I don't know.
What are the interwebs? I don't know.
Okay.
Hey, we appreciate it.
I
Thanks a
enjoyed
lot.
talking barbecue
Yep.
with you guys.
Peace.
We've been great.
Thanks, everybody.
We did great. That's Matt's sign off, by the way. Boom.
Dang it, Bobby. Just grab the brisket. Or we would like to give a special thanks to FOGO Premium Hardwood Lump Charcoal, Bolner's Fiesta Spices, CoolieNation Custom Koozies, Cambro Manufacturing, Yeti Cooler, the Smoke Sheep Barbecue Newsletter, and Texas Brew Hopper. We appreciate their support. Y'all guys go check them out.